Hi, I understand you want to know how do I use essential oils. Well, welcome to our world. My name's Elizabeth Ashley and I'm the author of The Secret Healer Aromatherapy manuals, of which there are 20. This one here is free to download on Amazon, and I thought I'd talk you through some basic aromatherapy. Over the next few videos I'll place the links in the descriptions below and help you through the beginnings of how to use essential oils. So first of all, do you know what they are? So they are concentrated essences of plants, and I've got a couple here. Well, this one's a beautiful one from Croatia, which is helichrysum, and this one is holy basil. It's irrelevant, they're just here by the side of me, and they are parts of plants. They have been extracted by a process called distillation, where steam's been passed through, and the oil parts of the plant have ended up in this bottle. So that's important that not all the parts have passed through. A lot of the water-based ones, vitamins, that kind of thing, have not. This is just the oil constituents, and these are very, very, very potent things, and as such they're quite, I'm going to say the word acidic. That's not actually factually true, but if you imagine putting acid on your skin, then that can be the effect. So how we use them is we dilute them. Now, if you look in the description below, I've put a couple of links to other videos that I've done. One about how many drops to use in an ounce of oil, how to calculate that. So that'll tell you how many drops to use. But also there's one about how to blend them. But that's jumping ahead. So there's lots of different ways that you can use them. I would, if you haven't got this book, I would recommend going and downloading it off Amazon. It's completely free, as I said, and it is on other ebook sites as well. It's on iTunes, Barnes and Noble. Go and download it for free, and the reason for that is because there's a list of around about 100 different oils, and it tells you what they do, and at the bottom it tells you if there's a reason why you should be careful of using that oil. So for the most part though, most essential oils are safe and easy to use as long as you're diluting them, okay? And so for example, we would, if you wanted to make a massage oil, which is, I'm trained under the British School of Aromatherapy, and so mainly we use massage oils, if I'm honest, massage oils, creams and lotions. So we would take a teaspoon of oil and just put a couple of drops into that, and then you can use it to rub on. And what happens is the oils go through the skin and into the blood system, and they move to all the parts that need them. And they will do any number of things. They may detoxify the system, they might raise or lower blood pressure, and there's a good reason for checking this. If you've got high blood pressure, you don't want one that's going to push it up, and likewise if you've got low blood pressure, something like clary sage or ylang ylang are common oils that we use a lot of times, and they will sink your blood pressure through the floor. So we just want to make sure that we're taking care of that. So they'll balance hormones, they'll alleviate pain. Most importantly, from my point of view, because I'm most interested in the emotions, they balance emotions. So that's how you make a massage oil, and I'll put a link below, and we'll do a more detailed one about how to make massage oil. You might want to use them in the bath. Now, it's beautiful to use essential oils in the bath, but it's really, really important that you check the book and make sure that it's not what's called a dermal irritant. So for example, yeah, don't put lemon in the bath. I did that once, and between you and I planned a nice seductive evening, and I'd got some lovely new underwear, and I'd sleeked into the bath and then leapt out, and I'd irritated all my skin, and it carried on for days. So that's a dermal irritant. We don't do that. You'd think I would know better. This was before I qualified. So I knew about lemon oil a long time before I learned about aromatherapy. But for the most part, things like lavender, ylang ylang, as I was just saying, geranium, um, mandarin's nice. There's lots of different oils, chamomile, that you can put into the bath, and just have a soak in the bath. And so a bit of a controversial point, really. I put them directly into the bath because I don't use dermal irritants. But there is a school of thought that says you should still dilute them. But in my opinion, all that does is make the bath slippy, and that's just as dangerous. So I just put safe oils into my bath. And so when you're doing a bath, my bath is super big. It takes about an hour to fill. That's more to do with the water pressure, the side of the bath. But we put between 5 and 10 drops of essential oil in. And if you want to, you can add more than one oil. You can just add them as you go. But it's quite costly to do that, isn't it? So what I would usually say to people is just think about what you want to do, and maybe have just like a core of 3 or 4 oils to begin with, and just use one in the bath and perhaps the others into your massage oil or your creams and lotions. Diffusers, how do you use them in a diffuser? Well, they're very, very nice for changing the atmosphere of a room, and that's useful if you have got warring factions going on of teenagers, for example, or in my case, I usually have hundreds of 8-year-olds, and they all want different things, let's put it that way. So one won't play the PlayStation, the other one wants to put Connects all over the floor, and one could go slightly mad, or one could put 2 or 3 drops of lavender in a diffuser. And so your diffuser tends to have a well of water. Not all diffusers are the same, but it usually holds about 100 ml of water, about 4 ounces. Excuse me, I have to turn the heater off. Sorry, it's been snowing and now I can't get the temperature right. And so there is no cut and fast rule about how much oil you put in a diffuser. 2 or 3 drops. Can you smell it? Do you feel like you're actually being smacked in the face by the smell of too much rosemary, which happens to me a lot? You know, you're going to get to, the more you use the essential oils, the more you'll realise that it's an intimate relationship with the plant, with you and with you. So you might say, I can't smell that chamomile. And your husband's going to say, are you kidding? It's choking me. Do you think that might have happened in our house a few times? And it will be different for every oil. So just start small, build up, and watch the effects. So yeah, so in the diffuser is very, very lovely. I'll also do a link down about how to make bath salts. Now, bath salts is a great way of getting around this idea of should you or should you not dilute oils in the bath. Because you can dilute essential oils into salt, which is lovely. I like bath salts a lot. And you know, my friends might be really sick of getting them for gifts thinking about it, but maybe not. But they're very, very easy to use. And like I say, I will do a video, but basically you take some salt, you put some essential oils in, you put the lid back on, you shake it, and then you use a teaspoon of salt in the bath, and it's very, very simple. So they're very good. You can also use essential oils in candles. I like essential oil candles. So imagine if you got, there's several different ways to make it, but the easiest way is if you've got some tea lights, some normal tea lights, unscented, otherwise it really is horrible smelling. So an unscented tea light, like you get at IKEA, and you can either light it and wait for the pool of wax to soften, and then just put a drop of oil into there. And so you might go, I want lavender because it's relaxing, or I might want geranium because I'm a little hormonal and a bit psycho, or you might want to bit of jasmine for a bit of evening action. Very, very nice. just one drop into a tea light. Or if you're going to be super clever, you get your baking tray and you put all 12 of the tea lights in, and you put it on a very cool oven, or into a very cool oven, and you just watch as the wax starts to soften, and then you go 2 or 3 drops of each one, and then you just let them cool, and then you've made lovely gifts. So again, we'll do a link, and we'll do some of those perhaps one day. And so that's it really. So to recap, the essential oils absorb through the skin into the blood system, and so they will circulate to the body, parts of the body that need them, and then they will be excreted out as waste. So that's important. Lots and lots of water to be drunk, please, because they move the lymphatic system and they're shifting toxins all of the time. And if the toxins don't shift, you're going to get headaches. You're going to feel a bit bleh. So if you listen to the essential oil marketeers, they will tell you they always make you feel wonderful. They do, as long as you're giving yourself time to recover, because they work energetically, but they also work physically. And so that's a lot of things moving on. They also work by inhalation. So as you breathe them in, they go through 2 different avenues. They go up the nose and in through the mouth. So part of that from the mouth will go up that way, but also it'll go down into the lungs. As it goes into the lungs, obviously oils like eucalyptus, tea tree, they're going to help with any kind of lung complaints. But actually, the lungs are diffused with millions and millions of little blood capillaries. And so that also is a route for the molecules to go into the blood, same as if you had taken them topically, right, on the skin. As they go up the nose, that's a whole different pathway, and a fascinating thing, because they really affect the mind on many different levels. They go to a part of the brain called the limbic system, because that's where our sense of smell is processed. In this limbic system is also where we process memory and emotions, cognitive processing, learning. So as the smell goes up, it hits those parts of the brain and can improve all of those different faculties. So it can improve memory, it can improve cognitive processing and learning, but it can also really dramatically affect your emotions. So it's very, very useful for things like depression, anxiety, but also things like PTSD. There's a lot of research into the essential oils for memory with people with Alzheimer's. So yeah, very, very interesting. And if you decided that you wanted to do just working on the emotions, and I've picked bad oil to have by me, because this holy basil is really quite acidic, so I don't want to put this on my hand, but without a carrier. You can work with the bottle actually, but if you sniff, you get it out your nose, right? So have it down here and just kind of waft it, so you get a sense of the smell, right? And the strange thing about breathing is that you smell as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, you don't smell, you taste. That's interesting, isn't it? I love this fact. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out through our mouth, right? And you can just work very, very gently, affecting your emotions with a simple bottle of oil without putting it on you at all, right? It's cheap, you know me, but it's be careful not to sniff. It hurts. I mean, that hurt my nose. So just 5 minutes of just sitting, gently breathing those. You will be amazed how relaxed and how much happier you can feel, as long as you pick the right oils. Not all essential oils are relaxing. Some are uplifting, some are stimulating. So use the book. I'm not sure whether it said, I'm sure that it probably did, but it's free to download on Amazon. If you get the paperback, you can do like I do. It's printed with very big gaps between so that I can write rubbish. So as I'm learning more, as I see different things happen on clinical trials, I just sketch it in. So when I come to read it, I go, oh yes, I know what I've got to check. But that's very useful when you've got something like this, right? But at the back, it will tell you, this is uplifting, this is relaxing, this is sedative, this is analgesic. And that will very, very helpful to you. So that is the basics of how to use essential oils. From here, you should be able to look at the links, but also come and see me in 2 different places. Come and see me on my Facebook page, The Secret Healer Writes. There's a link below. And also on my blog, How Do Essential Oils Work? And I think as you're starting to develop your experience of aromatherapy, you'll find it's a great place to get more and more information, and some of it very, very uplifting, some of it a tad scary sometimes. Always fascinating. So, but I want to say thank you and good luck on your journey, and please go get the book. It'll help you a lot.